Hi, my name is Ramona Burkel, and I'm from the Department Community Development and Culture, right from the domestic safety point. So that's the reporting point where incidents can be reported, but also for advice. And I'm here today with a very special team of filmmakers. And first, I would like Joel to introduce himself.
Yes, I'm Joel Ayuk, originally from Cameroon, but I live in St. Martin for the past 23 years. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a producer, director, writer of CHOKEHOLD, and I'm here in Saba to screen the film CHOKEHOLD and have it introduced to the population of Saba.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, first of all, Ramona, for having us here on the beautiful island of Saba. My name is Herbert Martina, and I am here as a facilitator. Basically, um, we are screening the movie, but we're not only coming with a movie, we're also coming with workshops. We're also coming with an initiative. We're coming with, uh, you know, um, workshops and panel discussions. So we are coming to basically the population of Saba in order to bring an initiative, an awareness, and not only awareness, but healing.
Yes, and with a positive mindset,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I would like to know a little bit more about the creation of the film. So my first question would be, what inspired you to create this movie, Chokehold?
It comes from a very deep place of hurt, of seeing injustice being met to women that I know, most predominantly my mother-in-law. I was part of the getaway driver, as you can say, when she was living the abused home. I was very young. I was 22 years old. And fast forward to that, I've also observed domestic violence within my neighborhood. And some of the instances youths involved, sometimes five kids, in the house, and you hear the kids screaming and the parents are fighting. So I decided to learn my craft to be able to impact change within the community. And I decided to do that by creating the film Choco.
Okay, and how did you develop the story? Was it,
Oh yeah, that's
and were there like big challenges in portraying?
it was because as a director, you have to be authentic because they are critics. And in terms of domestic violence, it's not a subject that I know much about, so I have to research,
And it's a very sensitive
and it's
topic.
a very sensitive topic. And I did not want to have some psychologists, saying that is not realistic enough. So what I did, Cassandra Richardson, which is a specialist in domestic violence within the six Caribbean, Dutch Caribbean islands, was a consultant during the creation of the film. So I did sessions with her while I was writing the film. I would send it to Cassandra to vet the script, and she directed me in making sure that the film was authentic. And we did that within the space of a year after writing. Then we get into pre-production and production.
Okay, okay. And what do you hope that the film Chokehold will um, evoke in the hearts and minds of people? Is there anything special that you would,
Well, what I hope in Saber, because we just
especially
came,
in small communities like
yes,
Seba, yeah,
what I hope and the reason and the purpose of making this film is to be able to change the mindset of the population that domestic violence is not a taboo subject. It's something that can be discussed, openly within the community, and so doing, helping the victims, speak out because it brings shame and embarrassment, to these individuals and to the families at large. So I hope this film is able to create impact, a positive impact within the community of Statia, that we can, of Sabre. We just came from Statia, and of Sabre, that we can be able to break the chokehold that is existing within the house, some households and some communities.
And maybe also break the silence because there's a lot that happens behind closed doors.
Yes, yes. So this film is exposing what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to give a little input on this.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you asked him what he wants to invoke, we could have easily come with a movie, just a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But where the other team members came in is that we came with a package. So it's not only screening a movie, but we want to hear feedback about the movie and about different things that are going on. At first, we thought it would not work because of the small knit community that we live in, and
Mm-hmm.
people would be uh, basically shamed to talk about their problems. But it
Mm-hmm.
is an open secret. All right. And what we want to do is unveil the mask. That's why we have our panel discussions. That's why we have our workshops. So not only talk about it, but
Mm-hmm.
what are the tips and how can we overcome this situation? One of the things that we also mention about is that yes, we understand that victims or survivors they exist, but perpetrators they also too are victims. And if we can change the mindset and we can tackle the root of the problem, then we can be able to start healing a family. You know, a lot of times we're challenged already, and especially as in the Caribbean, we have a one single parent home. So breaking up a family, that is not our intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it comes to that, then you have no other choice. However, if we can tackle the root of the problem and see that the perpetrators also need victim support and also need help, um, we can do some good work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because let's face it, predominantly abuse is on women, but there's also abuse on men, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to be biased here, but we want to be truthful as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes. Last week I was at a conference, No Mass No More, and the Prime Minister of St. Martin, he said something very touching. He said it's not only a private issue, but it has to become a public matter. Do you agree on that? Is it domestic violence?
It is. It is a public matter now with the movie Chokehold. We brought domestic violence to the public. And in fact, last year we screened the film in over 30 film festivals around the world. And we happened to win about 13 awards for that matter. So it's no longer a private matter. It is definitely a public matter.
Yes. And what does this recognition mean to you?
I was a little bit shocked by them, especially the first one that we received. I was literally outside and I was called in. So when you make a film as a director, you're not sure if the audience how will receive it. So it means a lot to me. It means that the creative sector, which is the orange economy, specifically filmmaking, can definitely be an economy, can is definitely serving its purpose within the small Caribbean islands, and would love to do more films and more projects. So it means a lot to me.
I wanted to also touch, you mentioned No Mas No More conference, which was held in St. Martin this year. Um, and what I heard from my prime minister, one of the staple fact that you mentioned just now is that it's no longer a private issue, but it's a public matter.
Mhm.
It was a very strong statement, and I'm sure
Yes.
that you caught up on it as well, and
Yes.
you understand that it's a strong statement. And
Mhm.
this is why we came here, and we want to commend the public entity of Saba for realizing that you know what, this is a public matter that
Mhm.
we need to get under control to get our
Yes.
families back on track. So I want to commend the Prime Minister of St. Martin, Luc Marcelina,
Mhm.
for making that statement,
Yes.
because it a wake up call to other governments to
Mhm.
listen. This is what we need. I also want to give a shout out to Stacia, our
Mm.
sister island, who answered the call as well. And
Mhm.
this is our second destination, Saba, on the
Mhm.
tour.
Okay. Thank you for that. And what motivated you to also bring Chokehold to Saba, especially specifically to Saba? And what are your hopes for the impact here on Saba?
You want to go or you want me to go? Okay, yeah. What motivated us to bring Chokehold to Saber? Our intention is to bring Chokehold to about 20 something islands within the Caribbean and around the world. That is our objective. But it would not make sense to be traveling around the world and bringing the film when we have problems within our backyard. So Statia was our first stop. The second stop is Saba. And we choose the small islands because we believe there are quality people within these islands. And we believe also that these community within these islands have to heal. And that's the main reason that we do it.
You know, filming in St. Martin, we know that our sister islands, and I call it sister islands, even though Saba belongs to the best islands, I call it sister islands because of the
Absolutely.
cultural and the
The Eugene.
historical
Yeah.
bond that we
Mm-hmm.
share as former SSS islands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's no surprise. Majority of people that are on Saba visited St. Martin one time of their lives. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sometime even two times per year. And the movie was shot in St. Martin. So when you see a movie that was shot right in your backyard, you know, it gives a sense of belongership. You know, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I recognize this place. I recognize that place. And I think that's one of the reasons uh, we decided to approach these islands first. And I must say, thanks to you, Ramona Barco, that when you heard that this was what we were trying to do, you jumped on it and you made the necessary arrangements,
Mm-hmm.
talking to the government of Saba and having us here. So I want to thank you personally for seeing that this is a tool that you
Yes.
can use.
Yes. And how important is the collaboration with local institutions like the domestic safety point, and how can we strengthen that? Like the domestic safety point is in Saba the reporting point. How can we strengthen that in collaboration with you, with the filmmakers, with the movie? Is there?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, by sharing information, and not
Mm-hmm.
information, personal information, but sharing information of what really goes on, because we know
Mm-hmm.
what goes on in St. Martin, we knew or we know what goes on in Statia, but basically sharing information and then we getting a concerted approach in order to combat this epidemic
Mm-hmm.
that is domestic violence within our communities. And
Okay.
what we will do is then all the information that we've gathered, we will be making a report. We will be presenting it to the Saba government so that
Mm-hmm.
they know, listen, these were the steps taken,
Mm-hmm.
and should we implement this project again? Was
Mm-hmm.
it effective? How effective was it?
Yes.
So that is what the collaboration is all about.
Yes, and we also work hard on data that we, because domestic violence is a great range. You have mental abuse, you have physical abuse, you have all different types of abuse, child abuse, but data is so important in that case also, and also maybe just knowing how many people were interested to show up
Exactly.
by the movie.
I just wanted to piggyback of what you said just now. We have a member of the team, which
Mm-hmm.
is Dr. Anne Marlin Evans as well, who speaks about the different kind of abuse. So
Mm-hmm.
when you say that just now,
Mm-hmm.
it's our lingo that we're speaking. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
think that it's just physical violence and beating up on your partner,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the way you talk to them, is the mind games and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all sorts of abuse, even to financial abuse. So those are the things that we are going to be touching on, and hopefully, informing the public how you can combat those different forms of abuse.
Yes, because do you believe that the film Chokehold can also contribute to a mindset, a change of awareness?
Sure, sure. That is the reason, as a director, impacting on it, because after having a session with Cassandra Richardson, I was able to stop three families with my wife from domestic abuse. But for the past 15 years, I was helpless. I knew people were being abused. There was nothing I could have done. I felt like the power was in the hands of the victim. But after my education, I found out the power was in my hands. The victim is in a chokehold, is trapped. So this film, the intention with this film, as some of the workshops, they were breaking the chokehold pledge that is done to give the powers in the hands of the viewers to be able to stop domestic violence by making the right decision. So definitely, I see the importance of the film in stopping domestic violence within Saba.
Okay. And also, I guess to break the stigma
The
of
stigma,
Of course, of course.
uh,
This
domestic
is a
violence.
tool, and it has been
Right.
proven.
Mm-hmm.
Why it has been proven?
Mm-hmm.
People came to see the movie, and they had a different thought about how the movie was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw even perpetrators or ex-perpetrators who said, "Listen, I identify myself in the
Character.
character."
Mm-hmm.
You know, wow. I always thought it, but and they recognize that, hey, um, it is abuse what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing,
Okay.
and it should stop. So that's the first step. Once
Mm-hmm.
you recognize and you admit, you know. And we also had some how do you say victims who said, you know what, I recognize myself in this person,
Mm-hmm.
so I choose to be a better person. And not
Mm-hmm.
meaning that she was doing anything bad, but
Mm-hmm.
she chose not to be beaten on anymore. She chose not to be picked on. She
Mm-hmm.
chose not to be taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, this is a catalyst for change, and we've seen it we've seen it done
Mm-hmm.
in the different islands, and so we
Mm-hmm.
trust and we know that it's going to happen here as well.
Okay, thank you. What are the next steps for the filmmakers?
For me,
Yes, do you see yourself continuing to explore in the social issue and
yes,
through your work?
yes. The first encounter with the population of Statia opened my eyes to the need of social impact producing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do more films, do a film here in
Mm-hmm.
Sabre, because it is very important that we continue with these impact films.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this interview. I just want to end with a thank you. So, for more information about advice on domestic violence, reporting, abuse is not love, just contact us at 416-6936, or you can email ramona.burkel@sebagov.nl. And if it's an issue, you can always contact our department, the social domain, one of our social workers.